What if being called a chicken wasn't considered to be an insult, but a reflection of deep sacrificial love? This week, we'll explore Jesus' words in Luke where he compares himself to a mother hen protecting her chicks. Through real-life encounters with birds, thinking about Marty McFly in Back to the Future, and biblical truth, we'll uncover the courage of Christ's love and the call to recognize his unwavering protection. Be sure to check it out. A friend of mine told me the story of when he was on the way to, I believe it was his mother-in-law's farm with his wife and son. That's where the goose lived. It was just a mean and aggressive bird that would chase, bite, and flog people, so they were very wary of it. Well, they got there, and their little boy was still quite young, but upon the car stopping, he was out the door and full of excitement before they had a chance to catch him. Well, to their horror, he was making a beeline for the goose. He was in full sprint, and the dad couldn't catch him. Dad was panicking. It was going to be terrible. Well, the goose was caught unaware, I guess because the boy got there, seized the goose by the neck, spun around him, straddled him, sat down on his back, and cried out, "Fly, Mama Goose, fly!" Well, my friend said that the goose never bothered people again. You know, I witnessed a different kind of bird-kid interaction once. I remember watching a child harassing chickens. He was throwing rocks at them, chasing them, and kicking at them. He was pursuing them. They were not coming at him. The parent offered a few non-committal "don't do that's," but no active correction or real attention to a problematic and abusive behavior. Well, that's when nature opened up a classroom and the rooster got involved. It went to flog that kid, and then the parent got involved and kicked the rooster. I didn't want to see the kid mauled, but there was actually no lesson at all learned, and it was all the aggressive rooster's fault. You know, I remember the reaction of Marty McFly in the Back to the Future movies of being called chicken. Marty can't stand being called chicken or yellow, as it challenges his pride and his masculinity. His knee-jerk reaction often leads him into reckless situations because of it. The use of chicken as an insult to describe someone as cowardly or afraid has a very long history, rooted in the perceptions of chickens as timid, skittish creatures. Chickens are often seen as easily frightened, and this behavior led to the term being used as an insult. In the 1600s, chickens were widely known for being easily startled and quick to run away from danger, which led to the association with cowardice. So a chicken's default reaction is avoidance, or maybe it's assessment instead of unmitigated reaction and aggression. A contemporary of the 16th century, William Shakespeare, noted that through his character Falstaff that discretion is the better part of valor. Well, I think chickens have gotten the short end of the stick in our idioms, and maybe they're using more discretion. You see, a broody hen is highly dedicated to incubating her eggs, keeping them warm and turning them regularly to ensure even development. She rarely leaves the nest, only doing so briefly to eat, drink, and dust bathe. Mother hens start clucking softly to their unhatched chicks, and the chicks peep back from inside the eggs. This early communication helps build a bond and prepares them to recognize her voice after hatching. Well, once the chicks hatch, the hen teaches them essential survival skills like scratching the ground for food and identifying what's safe to eat. She also helps them learn how to drink by gently pecking at water. The mother hen fiercely protects her chicks from predators, though, often puffing up, spreading her wings, or even attacking threats. Here's some real life chicken encounters, not just idioms. A village in Kenya reported a wildcat sneaking into a homestead to grab a chick. The mother hen jumped onto the cat's back, pecking and scratching furiously. The cat, startled and injured, released the chick and ran off. The hen, though slightly wounded, survived. A backyard farmer in Texas found feathers scattered everywhere one morning and feared the worst. To his surprise, his hen was alive but missing a few feathers, standing guard over her chicks. Security footage showed that a raccoon had entered the coop, but the hen fought back so aggressively that the raccoon gave up and left without taking any chicks. Then there's a viral video from India, showed a mother hen defending her chicks from a cobra. The snake had slithered into the farm, targeting the little chicks. The hen attacked relentlessly, pecking at the snake's head, flapping, and even lifting it up off the ground. After a fierce struggle, the cobra died from the injuries inflicted by a chicken. In the gospel today, Jesus speaks with a broken heart. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, you kill the prophets and stone those who are sent to you. How often I have longed to gather you together as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings, and you were not willing. Jesus is speaking of his longing to protect his people, just as a mother hen gathers her chicks under her wings. But there's something profound here. The hen is not weak or fearful. Despite being often misunderstood in popular culture as a fearful animal, hens are known for fiercely protecting their young. They'll puff themselves up, spread their wings, and defend the chicks from predators, even at the cost of their own lives. Chickens may not be strong, fearsome, and big, but they are willing to give their lives if necessary. That's not cowardice. That's bravery. Similarly, Jesus uses the imagery of a mother hen because he knows the sacrificial love that a mother can have for her children. This is not just about nurturing, it's about sacrificing to protect. And yet, like the city of Jerusalem, we often reject Jesus' protection. He yearns to gather us under his wings, to shield us from harm and danger, but all too often we choose to go our own way, unaware of the dangers surrounding us. Like the people of Jerusalem, how often do we kick the rooster? Jesus' protection is not and was not passive. It's active, sacrificial love. Just as the hen will fight to the death to protect her young, when Jesus stood to protect, like the rooster, he came under fire and gave his life for us, offering himself as the ultimate sacrifice. Jesus calls out, just as the mother hen calls to her chicks to bring them under her wings. The question is, how do we react? Will we be like that child who in his innocence excitedly ran toward that goose, or will we be like the stubborn city of Jerusalem, unwilling to accept the very love and shelter he offers and go around kicking at and throwing rocks at one another? The call today is to embrace Jesus' protective love, just as the mother hen shelters her chicks from danger. Jesus longs to shelter us from the dangers of this world, from our own foolishness, from sin, from reckless behavior, from hatred, and from uncaring. Let's reflect on the imagery of those chickens. Let's ask ourselves, are we willing to be gathered under his wings? Do we resist and harbor resentment, fearing a loss of our own autonomy? Like Marty McFly, do we fear being called chicken for looking to Jesus as the way, the truth, and the life? Marty learned that there were things far worse than being called chickens. We have also seen that the insult chicken rings pretty hollow, as chickens are actually very brave creatures, not necessarily to fight for themselves, but to fight for and be willing to die for others. I mean, Jesus called himself a chicken. So let's think about the profound irony in the way we view chickens. We use the term chicken as an insult, yet we see in nature that the hen is anything but cowardly. She's watchful, determined, and willing to sacrifice herself for her young. And this is precisely why Jesus chose this image. Not the mighty eagle, not the roaring lion, but the mother hen, because his strength is revealed not in domination, but in self-giving love. And so we're left with this image. Jesus, wings outstretched, standing between us and danger, calling us to recognize his protection, his sacrifice, his unshaken devotion to those he loves. The question is not whether he is willing to gather us, his longing is clear, but whether we are willing to see the beauty, the power, and the depth of his love. So as we reflect, let's not dismiss the hen as weak, nor mistake sacrifice for fear. Let us instead recognize the heart of Christ in that image, the fierce, unyielding love that does not abandon, does not retreat, but stands firm, even unto death. For it was in that sacrifice, in that moment of ultimate bravery, that Jesus revealed what true strength really is. Amen.